Hello everyone, I am Binita Gupta, a teacher trainee of Siliguri Tarai B.Ed College and Siliguri Primary Teachers Training College. So, today I am going to teach you a chapter from political science which is comes under West Bengal Board of Class 12. In part 1 of the Indian Constitution, we have Union and its territories. Second parts of our Indian Constitution, we have citizenship. The third parts of our Indian Constitution, we have fundamental rights, isn't it? Next, in part 4 of the Indian Constitution, we have directive principles of the state policy. Okay, in part 4a, we have fundamental duties. Okay, so dear student, today I am going to teach you a topic that is directive principles of the state policy. Okay, it comes under part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Now let us discuss what is directive principles of the state policy. Directive principles of the state policy are the guidelines to the center and the state government of India to keep in the mind while framing any laws and policies. Okay, it is nothing but the guidelines while framing any laws and policies. Okay, in Article 36, it mentions the definitions of the state. In 37, in Article 37, it mentioned that directive principles of the state policy are not justiciable. It is not enforceable by any courts of law. Okay. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said that directive principles of the state policies is a novel features. Okay, he said directive principle as a novel features. According to Austin, he said that directive principles of the state policy is a co-science of the constitution. According to Austin, he said that directive principles of the state policy is a co-science of the constitution. Directive principles of the state policy are the philosophical parts of our Indian constitution. Okay. Next, discuss about the features of directive principles of the state policy. Now, number one features is directive principles of the state policy are nothing but the guidelines to the center and the state government of India while framing any laws and policies. It is only the guidelines. Okay, while framing any laws and policies. Now, number two features is it comes under part 4th of the Indian Constitution. Okay, it comes under part 4th of the Indian Constitution. Now, next, third features of directive principles of the state policy is it borrow from the Irish Constitution. Okay, the Irish constitutions also borrowed from the Spanish Constitution. Okay, so directive principles of the state policies are borrowed from the Irish Constitution. Next features of directive principles of the state policy is the aims and objectives. The main aims and objectives of the directive principles of the state policy is to make a welfare state. Okay, in order to promote and protect the economic and social well-being of the citizen. Okay. Next features of directive principles of the state policy is It is not justiciable. It is not enforceable by any courts of law. Here I give you an example. Okay. If anyone breaks the law of directive principles of the state policy, in that we do not directly approve to the Supreme Court or High Court. Okay. Here we do not allow to go and appeal any cases. Okay. For that it is not justiciable. It is not enforceable by any courts of law. Next, next features of directive principles of the state policy is, though it is not enforceable by any courts of law, it is not enforceable, but the uh, it helps the court in determining the constitutional validities. Okay. Next features of directive principles of the state policy is, it is instrument of instruction. What it means? It means it is only the guidelines while framing any laws and policies. Okay. Directive principles of the state policy resemble the instrument of instruction enumerated in the Government of India Act, Indian Act of 1935. Okay. It enumerated in the Government of India Act of 1935. Next features of directive principles of the state policy are, it is categorized in three. It is of three types. Okay. Number one is, it is socialistic principle. Second is Gandhian principle, and third is liberal principle. Okay. It is categorized in three types. Okay. Number one, socialist principles. Here the articles comes 38 to 47. Okay. Next, Gandhian principle. It comes article 40 to 48. Next, liberal principle. Here the articles comes 44 to 51. Okay. These all are the features of directive principles of the state policy. Okay. So the directive principles of the state policy comes under which part of our Indian Constitution? Yes, it comes under part 4th of the Indian Constitution. Okay. How many articles are there in the directive principles of the state policy? The articles are 36 to 51. Okay. Directive principles of the state policy are justiciable? No, it is not justiciable. It is not enforceable by any courts of law. Okay. So, dear students, today's homework is, write down the features of directive principles of the state policy. Okay. I hope everyone can understand what is directive principle of the state policy. How many articles are there in directive principles of the state policy? Which part it comes? Which part it comes? Why it is not justiciable? Okay. So in our next class we shall discuss about the three types of directive principle of the state policy. That is socialist principle, second is Gandhian principle, and number third is liberal principle. Okay. If you have any doubt, so please comment me. Okay. Thank you.